I've just been chatting away to everybody there and realised I hadn't pressed the live button. So I've been chatting away and waving and running backwards and forwards, and then just realised I haven't even switched it on. And I haven't even had a drink yet. Hey, dear me. So I've been saying hello to everybody and waving at everybody, and none of you could even hear me or see me or anything. Dear me. Talk about daft. But anyway, now I've switched it on. So hopefully everybody can hear me then. Yeah, I was like running backwards and forwards, waving and shouting. And then I went, why isn't that working properly? Yeah, I was like, what's the matter with this? What's the matter with this? And then it's got this, go live, go live. I went, oh, okay. There you go. Hi, Will. Hi, Kelvin. All right, then, Dime Bob. I've been chatting to you for ages and you couldn't even hear me or see me. All right. Hammy from Ayrshire, still on there. Cool. Brilliant. All right, then. Stella. Oh, you like Stella? I haven't got Stella. Yeah, I've been sat waiting and I've been like chatting away. I said, oh, there's nobody on yet. And then I was like, oh, hang on. It says press the live button. Hiya, David. You all right? Good to see you. All right. Oh, see you. Noel, hiya. You okay? D. All right. Yeah, I'm glad you could all hear me. That was good. Hiya, Barbara. I am here. Yeah. Yes, I was like chatting away and running backwards and forwards, and then noticed that I'm dropping all my stuff. This is all my stuff I need to use tonight. We're going to be going over stuff for the land registry and stuff. Some good stuff tonight. Well, hopefully you enjoy it anyway. But hope you've all had a good week. Hiya, Keith. Witzer. Hiya, Robert. But yeah, I had a really interesting week this week. Spoke to some amazing people. Got some great information and spoke to some very interesting people. So this is how we crack on and push on. So we're going to go over quite a few different things this evening. Hopefully you will find it interesting. Some of you will be sort of like more ahead than others, but I do think that it's always good to go over things and make sure that everybody is up to speed and knows what's going on. Who's that? Hiya, Les. Hiya, Keith. And what is that? I can't read that. Witzer from Ontario, Canada. Lovely. Good. Okay. Usually have Linda will come on the members one. But good. It's good to see people coming from all over the place. Brilliant. All right, then. So we're going to start off. We're going to be talking about living in the private. When we're talking about living in the private, we're talking about like knowing thyself. Okay. And what I mean by that, all right. So, we do use paperwork. I'm going to go over it, to correct our status, if you want to call it that. Telling sort of like, the sinister seven, that we are right alive. Okay. That's what we do. That's what we have that for. But none of it is going to mean anything unless we know it in here, in our hearts and in our minds, and getting to know thyself. That's what I mean by that. All right. That statement there, know thyself. And you're going to be a man or a woman. Okay. And this is making it a fact. So the only thing that can have law or be under law and have inalienable rights in this world of ours or this plane of ours is a man or a woman. Okay. If you stand as a man, stand as a woman, all right, then, okay, you are going to have the inalienable rights that was God-given rights. Okay. Hiya, Dwayne, are you all right? Yeah. Did you download that, Les, the top banker's manual, the banker's secrets? It was really good. Yeah. Hiya, Frank. How are you doing? And Dwayne. Yeah. Brilliant. I put that book up there, so hopefully everybody's got it. I know that Dimebor shared it around as well. Brilliant book there. Okay. So make sure that you do get a look at that. Download it to your own so you can read it. Some brilliant stuff in there. Okay. All right. But so let's go back to this. So now I don't care like what anybody thinks or offending anybody. I couldn't give a monkey's. All right. I'm talking about being a man or a woman. You can see their agenda and what they're actually pushing and what they're trying to get rid of. They're trying to get rid, right, of you being a man or a woman. That's why somebody was saying yesterday or whatever it was, you know, how many genders that they're actually pushing in the schools now. It's insanity, right? There's only two genders. You're either a man or a woman. That's all there is to it. Okay. And in nature, under the creator, in like natural law, right, then a man and woman are going to actually get together to create new life. And that's the only way it happens in nature, in reality. Anything else is blasphemous. So, but you stand under the creator as a man or a woman, and that is the only way you will be recognized in law. You cannot have law and you cannot have rights if you are not a man or a woman. All right. So all these other things that they're trying to actually say you are and try to push, you know, like all the younger generation, they're attacking them, trying to tell them and convince them that they're something different to a man or a woman. It's they're taking away their inalienable rights. They're taking away their God-given rights. Okay. That's what they're trying to do. This is the agenda that they're on. So what we need to do, if you want to stand in your power, you have to know in your heart and in your mind that you are a man or a woman, and then be able to express it to whoever that you're having to deal with if you're being challenged on anything at all for these inalienable rights, being under the creator, right? What was given to you by the creator. So when the creator, like, he did create everything, including the world or the earth, then what he did was he gave us as man and woman dominion of the earth. Okay. And that's all there is to it. So the you're lucky on there, Angela, because I'm going to go over some trust stuff for you today. Okay. All right. Hi James, how you doing? Okay, so really that's what we need to be doing. And this is when you're doing this and you're talking about private trusts, you have to be a man or a woman to really have a private trust created properly. So that's what we need to do. And when you do it, and the way I set my trusts up for people is that I set it up as a living man or a living woman. So they're going to be in there as the creator, and they're also going to be in as what we call the fiduciary or the fiduciary manager, because they run everything and they manage everything and control everything. Hiya, Paul. Good to see you. Okay. So that is what the private trusts are for as well, Angela. Right. So you need to be a man or a woman declared as a man or a woman when we're going to be in our private trust. So this is how we should be looking at things. This is what we need to do now to protect ourselves. Okay. Obviously, we want to be living in the private. Now, to be living in the private, what we need to do is, like I say, you need to know thyself. You've got to have it on board. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to correct our status, which you have to do by knowing that you are a man or woman. But we have to correct our status. So we want to tell them that we're alive. All right. And we're doing it under the Set the KV Act, 1666. It's still on the government website. It's still on the government statute book. So that's what we're going to be using, as well as other things. Now I'm going to share my screen. I've got a few different screens up. Hopefully I can find it. I'm going to help go over the forms on correcting the status and everything like that. I'm not going to linger on it, okay, because I know a lot of people have already done it, but I just want to push forward, make sure we're all up to speed. So number 2, right, first of all, know thyself. Number 2, correct your status, doing the lawful notice and demand. Number 3 is you're going to create your private trust. You can either do it yourself or you can get someone else to do it for you. All right. Number 4 is you're going to correct the land registry. If you have property, i.e., when everything is property, but if you have a home that you own, and even if it's on a mortgage, it doesn't matter. You need to get it corrected on the land registry. All right. And then if you haven't, but you have like vehicles, you can also correct the DVLA, okay, for the registry as well, to put the what do you call it, the car like into the trust as well. Now I understand, right, you know, the owner of the car is the DVLA, but you should not have your name on it. You should not be on there as the registered keeper. The registered keeper should be the trustee, not you. Okay, all right. And then we're going to go over the lasting power of attorney. Don't get confused with the power of attorney. I'm going to show you both there. All right. Hi, Anitya. You all right? So we've got the lasting power of attorney, which was from the government side, which is at the Office of the Public Guardian. So this is the way we should do it. So you start off obviously knowing what we're doing. Then we're going to correct our status with the L&D, create the private trust, get it on the land registry or DVLA if you have your home. And then we're going to do the lasting power of attorney for protection. This is all about protection, protecting you, protecting your family, protecting your assets, and protecting the family of the future as well. Okay, right now, when we're going on the trusts, the reason why these mega wealthy are so big into these private trusts is because, you know, and all of the satanic stuff that they do and everything like that, it's all because they truly believe they're coming back. They truly believe that they are going to be reincarnated and put into their wealth again. They're literally in the same family line. Okay, so you know, and that's why they create all of these trusts. So like, I'm going to go back to the trusts. I'm going to go over the paperwork in a little bit now, but like, I'm going to go back to the trusts. But right, like Rockefeller, J.D. Rockefeller, when he actually passed there, he had created over 200 trusts for all of his families, right? You know, like the siblings and everything. And nobody could know exactly what his wealth was. And nobody could find out where the assets were going. Well, the assets stayed in the trust, but they couldn't find out who the beneficiaries were because it was all private. Okay? Yeah, you can have a chat with me anytime you like. But obviously, I can't say your name. It just says Facebook user. Leasehold, if you've got your property in leasehold, you can still do that. What do you call it? Yeah, you know, like you'll pay the land rent and stuff like that, but you can still put it in a private trust because well, I'm not going to say that, but like on your the leasehold, you're putting your equitable interest in the private trust. You still have equity in that private trust, okay? So even if it's leasehold, it isn't the ideal way, you know, but it is what it is. So if you do have leasehold, you can actually put that into a private trust as well. So this is the way that we actually run things. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to share the screen with you in a second so that you can actually see the form, and I'm going to go over it with you as well. So we have the LND, the old famous LND, lawful notice and demand, right? So this is how we're going to do our status correction. All right. So we complete the LND, which I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to show you the website. I'm going to show you how to download it and everything. Hopefully they've already done it, but we're going to quickly go over it. Okay. All right. So then we're going to do our security agreement. There's two types of security agreements. I'm only going to show you the basic one. But we also have a second one, which is far more in depth because it's tied to the private trust. So you're talking about much more belongings, property and everything like that. Okay. And then we're also going to do what we call the power of attorney. Now, this power of attorney is completely different to the lasting power of attorney, which is from the government side. The Office of the Public Guardian in the UK anyway, all right? And there is the equivalent in each country. I've done it for people in the different states in Australia, as well as over in Canada and the USA as well. It's the same thing. They call it different things, all right? But here we call it, when we do, I think it's called something like lasting power of attorney. In fact, all right, because we're actually taking power of attorney of our straw man or our legal fiction name. That, right, is what we're doing on our power of attorney. The straw man name or the legal fiction name is now being run and managed by the living. That's what our power of attorney is. However, right, you need to have both. the power of attorney that we're going to do, but then we're also going to do the power of attorney with the government. Now, the reason why you do it with the government, okay, we're going to go on to the land registry as well after when we're doing that. The reason why you go on to the government one for, okay, is because when you're doing it, there's two of them as well on the government one. There's the I think it's called health and wellness, right? And that is the only one that a hospital will look at and take notice of if you end up in hospital and you can't speak for yourself. So you need someone that's a power of attorney, so that they'll actually speak for you if you couldn't actually, like, stick up for yourself, unconscious or anything like that in hospital. We don't end up in hospital at any time, right? But you definitely don't want to end up there and not being able to stick up for yourself or talk for yourself. So you, on the lasting power of attorney certificate, it states on there everything that you want to happen. So on mine, the certificate, it states there that I'm not allowed to be left alone with NHS staff because I don't trust them. It states that I don't want to have anything whatsoever given, no jelly beans, right? None of this, all right? I don't want any of them things, right? It also says I'm not in there for testing of any kind whatsoever, and we don't wear, like, clown masks or anything like that either. I tell you what, I'd rather get stuck in the corner and die, and I really mean that, and I really do not care, all right? I know it's just an energy suit anyway, and the energy will be moving on, and this suit will be left behind. But, I'm not having any blood transfusions from anywhere that I cannot trace. And that's what it says on my certificate that they've issued from the government, the lasting power of attorney. So that would get taken into the hospital, and they would have to allow whoever was the lasting power of attorney into the hospital. Whereas if you haven't got that, you've got a big problem on your hands. Now, you can also do it for your property. So in other words, right, if we get to a certain age when we went, oh, look, he's mental now, he's got dementia, we need to throw him in a home, right? He's crapping himself, he can't look after himself, get rid of him. And on mine, again, I have got it written, obviously the property is in a private trust, but written on there, on my instructions on the financial side and the property side, is nothing comes out of the private trust in any circumstances whatsoever. And that's written on my certificate from the government. All right. Now, I'm not saying, like, be great government, be anti-government or anything like that. However, right, this is what they will take notice of, and they have to take notice of because it's their law that they've set up. And I know it's not law, but let's just call it, because we all understand or comprehend, right? So that we have to be in the public when we're doing that. Let's face it, if you're getting stuck in a home, you're in the public. If you're in the hospital, you're in the public. So use a public form for public protection. Okay, so I'm gonna and you need to go on in the UK, the Office of the Public Guardian. Google it, search for it, get onto their website. What you do is you can you download it onto your own laptop. Then you can complete the form online. Okay, and then you get it signed correctly and done. Apparently, they're going to start doing an online version of it because, right, we're sending so many people to do it. They can't understand why there's so many people doing it now. All right, so hopefully I'm having a little part in that and making everybody go and do it. Protect yourself, okay? All right. Okay, hi there. All right, that's what we've got there. Wild Dragon, hello there. All right. 007 in Canada, lovely, great. Okay, Debbie, hi, how are you doing? Okay, excellent. There we are. All right, so that is the way we actually do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and actually share my screen, or I think I'm going to share my screen. All right, let's have a look. So I think I've got it on there. So if I click share, share screen. Nope, not that one. So what I want is the lawful notice of demand, which is that one. Okay. And then share the screen. Extra camera. Slides. No, I don't know. I've done it before. I'm sure I've done it before. Let's have another look. There, okay. Lawful notice and demand. And we are there. All right, there you go. Okay, so hopefully you can all see that document there. That is our lawful notice and demand. As it says there, right, 40 days and 40 nights. Now look at it on the top. I've just had to change this again. It says download this document before you change it. Do not edit it online as it's public, which means everyone will see your details as well as you've made me have to go and change it all again. All right, so it's just I am man. I'm not going to read all this, by the way, because there's loads of pages. I am man, use plain English, not legalese, and do not write the colour of black that the bar requires to celebrate the dead. Lawful notice and demand number. Now, a lot of people are still getting confused at this. Now, this is for Fred Henry Smith, so it says FHS hyphen, and that's the date they did it. So this is the 9th of the 9th, 2021, hyphen LND for lawful notice and demand. Then you put your national insurance number in, or social security number in, or tax file number in, depending on what country you're coming from. This is why this is in red, because this is what you edit. Then when we go down, we'll have this one here is the good old Doris. All right, look, Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson. What a name. What a, oh, God. All right, anyway, so we go down, and this is quite a comprehensive form. Talking about a lot of different things. Now, the reason why it's in red, because this says the United Kingdom government. You could change it to the Canadian government, the Australian government, all right, obviously. And that's why it's in red. You change it to your details for your country, etc., etc. So we have Fred Henry Smith. That is the legal fiction. And there is the man, Fred Henry. Now, that is a common law copyright. You can or cannot use that. It's up to you. We have a copyright form if you want to do it. Other people go on to do the trademarking, which is not the common law copyright. Okay. So just bear that in mind. So you can use that, or you can take it off if you don't want to do the copyright. It's totally up to you. So what we're doing is we're showing them Fred Henry Smith, or your full capitalized name, Capitis Maximus. The legal fiction is now being controlled by our man, or us. And that's why we're putting it in. Obviously, you've got man, or you could change that to woman. So anything that's in red. All right. So as you see, it's just a few different bits that you need to change. Now, here we've got the birth certificate number. Okay. Because you're telling them that that's your identifying number. Now, again, you're coming down and you've got like the L&D number in there, and the different bits where you have to change your details. Okay. And again, it's like for the country, the United Kingdom, and then you've got the Boris again there putting in. So you just got to change them. And now remember, we've got 7. I'm going to show you the website in a second. All right. So again, this is the UK, HMRC, this is all the United Kingdom's corporations, DVLA, HMCTS. This is all the like corporations. So you will need to, HMRC would be Canadian Revenue, maybe, IRS, United Kingdom, USA, Canada, whichever. All right. HM Land Registry would be like, Australian Land Registry Services, I think it's called. DVLA would be in America. It's DMV, isn't it? Something like that. Okay. So this is what you would change it to for your separate countries as well as the man. See how big this is? I mean, what, page 11 there, it's going on, right? So it's quite, they've got a lot of different acts and statutes in, and it states on here that we're telling them the acts and statutes for their benefit, we do not stand under them. So make sure that you realize that when we've got it on, we're not saying it because, right, we're agreeing with it. We're saying this does not bother me. This is not my concern, right? But I'm telling you, you have to live by it. So then when we'll come down onto the bottom, right? So we've got here, along with this lawful notice and demand, that number, FHS, that number, LND, right? Lasting power of attorney, in fact, FHS, same person, isn't it? Same name. Well, that is a person, FHS, because it's capitalized. Yes, because that's what we're talking about, a legal fiction. And there's the date again, LPOAIF, lasting power of attorney, in fact. this is, I'll go over this with you as well, but that is taking control of the legal fiction name. And the last one, security agreement. Okay, so then it finishes off. Okay, what page number is this? This is like page 23. So it's 23 pages long. I've got a couple of more little bits I'm going to add in as we improve things. But if you've done it before, it doesn't matter. It still covers you. So I, a man, state my words are true. You never say truth, because truth is an opinion. All right? Truth is someone's opinion. We say true. The Creator did witness, without prejudice, all rights reserved, in peace and in good faith. And then we've got two witnesses. But we don't have a witness. We have the name of a man or woman who did witness. That is words that are true. Okay? So I think I have to stop sharing that. And then we come back onto there. Hopefully that works. Let me know. I will get you the Paul for the copyright one if you need it. Okay? So fingers crossed everybody saw the form. I hope so. Just because it goes off when I actually do it. So what I'll do is I'm going to go on to the security agreement now and quickly show you that. So let's share the screen again. Share screen, Chrome tab, and security agreement. This is the standard security agreement. All right, there we are, sharing. So it starts off similar. FHS, that's for Fred Henry Smith. There's the number of the data it's made in. SA at the end, that is your security agreement number. We're doing this. The security agreement is between the debtor, which is the capitalized name, Capitis Maximus, our legal fiction, or straw man, depending on how you want to call it. And then the creditor is the living, Fred Henry, the living. Okay. And there's the copyright again, if you want to do it or not. This is not the long one because this is a short version just for the lawful notice and demand. Again, you can see all the bits are in red. Okay, and then it comes down there. Well, I would actually put witnesses on this one as well. I haven't altered that. I'll put witnesses on here as well. And again, a date and autograph it. Remember, when it says autograph here, all right, stop sharing. So when it says autograph, what we mean by autograph is that you're going to put your lowercase name. You don't do cursive, right? Think of the word that you're saying. Cursive writing, join up writing. So when you're doing it, like if you can see on there, right? Cursive writing, all right? Because you're putting a curse on yourself. You're cursing yourself. Think about what you're actually saying and what we're all doing. So, all of the words that we're doing and everything are all tricks and spells and spellology and witchcraft. Okay. All right. So then I am going to go on now and show you the power of attorney form. If you were actually to hire Julie, if you were actually going to be do the private trust, right? You can get access to the extended security agreement where the private trust is, which obviously is separate completely. I'll go over that in a second as well. Okay, but that's where you actually get it. So on top of that, we also have, where is it there? The power of attorney. Now this, remember, you've got separate, different power of attorney. This is ours. We're using with our Chrome tab, power of attorney, and then we share. There you go. Okay, again, look, it says download. Please download. All right, don't change it on here because everyone will see your private data. Okay, so same thing. It starts off there. Now this is you've got on the right, obviously, with that is the living. Okay, that's why it's on the right. Lasting power of attorney. In fact, there again, FHS for Fred Henry Smith. There's the date it's done, and that's our lasting power of attorney reference number. This is much shorter, obviously, than the lawful notice and demand. But basically, what this is saying is that you are taking power over the legal fiction name. The full capital's name. Okay, so I mean, you have to read it. It's not long. I'm going to show you where to get all these in a second. Okay, and again, we need to get some witnesses put on there. So when it says witnessed by the Father, the Son, we're going to take that out. Okay. But by the Creator, but we're also going to add some witnesses in here. Now, if I go back over to the lawful notice and demand, and I can copy them bits there, and then go back into here, right? And then we'll add that on. Look, see? And then you put your witnesses on. The reason why we did that, we thought it was great having sort of like witnessed by the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But when it came to a court case, they went, well, how can we bring that into court as a witness? Which was very pedantic because it was only a witness. They didn't need to actually testify anything. But, you know, we just got to duck and dive and change our direction when things come up against us, okay? And that is what we had to do. So where am I now? So if I stop sharing and then come back in again. Okay, so that's the 3 forms that we're actually going to be doing, okay? And that's what we send off. So we send off the lawful notice and demand, the security agreement, and the power of attorney. That's what we actually send to the Sinister Seven, right? Now, what we'll do is, when you're doing your forms, the first thing you have to do on the lawful notice and demand, just in case you haven't done it, you would actually like complete it out there. Still, just do the one for Doris, all right? Doris Johnson, the Defeffel man. And then you're going to send it to yourself because you're actually working with the UPU in Bern, Switzerland, which is very powerful on the postal mechanics. So you would do your stamp on the corner, take it to the post office and get them to stamp it on the post office. Then you would do your, take it away, do your autograph on it, and then also do your thumbprint. Boom, in blue. We don't do red anymore because, again, through court cases that we've been in and were giving us a hard time. So as we learn and we go through real life court cases, that's how we actually, change it. Hello, Lewis. I'm going to show you all the forms in a minute, Paul, okay? I think I am anyway, because it says there I have to, let me see if I'm allowed. There it is there, right? But it says, let's see if I can share it on a share screen. It says a Chrome tab. What if I go Windows though? What's that say there? Oh, hang on then. So if I no. Cancel that. Cancel. But it's in that one there. So you can do it on the Brave browser. Let's have a look at the Brave browser, and I'm going to bring up the website and show you where all of those forms are, Paul. Okay. So there. I was actually all set up, but on a different browser, and it says I can't use that browser for whatever reason on StreamYard. So I'm going to put it on this one now, but it's not working. For some reason, I cannot load that my website. I'll tell you what, let's go back to Chrome again. And I'll try and put it on there. There we go. Oh man, I didn't want the members area. Let's take me up to there. Stick it back to there. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do this then. So I'm going to come back in there and I'm going to see if I can share it now. So share again. So I'm going to show you the whole share screen. Chrome tab. on there. All right. So here you're coming into the website, and this is where all the form is. Now, obviously, the first thing you're going to do is just do the opt-in. Okay. So when you're coming in, if you look on the bottom, looks at copyright on there, Wilstaff Private Members Association, and that's our reference number there. So let's just put that in there, right? Get more info, and it takes you. So you got to, and then it takes you onto here. All right. So look on the blue bit here where it's highlighted, you're going to get all the forms. So this is just a thank you. You can click on there and see some helpful books. All right. But then you can click there, and it'll take you through to the actual page. So what you can do is you can watch the video on here. It's going to show you exactly how to actually do the form. So if we click play, all right, just move it on a bit. Can't hear it. All right, but like basically then this actually shows you how to do the forms. I don't know how to do that, how to get the sound on there. I'll do that later. Okay. All right. So now, look, it says you must download them. Please download them before you do any editing. It's not just the fact that, you're messing me up, but everybody can see your details. So now we are, look here, there's the security agreements. You just click on the red bit there. All right, see where it like highlights, and it's going to do the security agreement. Look, there's the lawful notice and demand. Here is the power of attorney in fact. There you go, Paul. See? And then over here as well, you have the second affidavit. All right, so all you have to do is opt in, and then you get all of this. Okay, so as we go down, it's all free. And I'm telling you now, right, that I've seen this lawful notice and demand. I've seen people charging between £2,000 and I've seen one the other day for £10,000 for this. So, and there it is for free. And then there's the USA contacts. So if you're in there, right, there's the UK contacts there. Scottish, because there are a few different ones. There's the Republic of Ireland, ROI. Okay. There's meters info there. Australian contacts there. Legal entrapment document. All these different documents, all this different information as well is all there. All right. And even there, click on there, become a member, and you get the private member where you get all the options and all of the benefits of that. All right. So it's all there. Now you can go and see that, click that helpful books. All it is Amazon. So you click on there, right? And you've got all these different books. Look, it's all about the straw man, redemption. Look, meet your straw man, democracy defined, brilliant book. Okay. So all of that there, all good books. It's on Amazon. You just click it and it's like takes you to Amazon. You can buy the books if you want the books. Okay. And then come back in there. All right. So there you go. So that's all the different forms. That's how to actually get them. All right. So it didn't go through. Okay. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll share it that way then. What a bummer. So I'll tell you what. I'll take it to there and I'll quickly go over it again. I didn't know that they wouldn't let you change the screen. Please forgive me. So I'm going to share it again, just quickly this time. All right, Chrome tab, and it just says the same thing. No, not that one. Not that one. That one. There you go. All right, so now it's shared, so you could all see that now. Okay, so now you got the video. The video is playing.
Okay, that is.
I don't know why there's no volume on it.
So the whole number is
like on
ours because it's our good friend Fred
I know why. I've got
lawful notice and
I've got it plugged in, but it shows you how to do it anyway. It shows you how to do all the forms. Okay. And on here, look, see, there's the security agreement. You just click there. There's a download for the LND. All right. There's your power of attorney. In fact, so there it all is. So all you have to do is put your name on. It takes you to there. All right. And then when you go on and you click it, it takes you to all of those. All right. Okay. So that's what I was talking about before. Forgive me. I did not know it didn't work. Okay. So it's www.claimyourstrawman.com. www.claimyourstrawman.com. And then you get all it. And it's all free. And I'm telling you, I was like, over the weekend, I was speaking with people and I've known it was up there between £2,000 and the furthest one I've seen, the highest one I've seen was between £2,000 and £10,000. just to help you correct the status. And there it is. All you got to do is download it and edit it yourself. Okay. Obviously you got to do it yourself, got to do the work, get the stamps, put it on, do the recorded delivery. And it had the second affidavit, if you noticed that as well. So once you've got the second affidavit, what you do is you send the first one off, you send on that video I showed you, all right, it does actually tell you how to do it all. I'm going to upgrade the video as well. But what you do is you send the first one to you, the one for Boris Johnson, for instance. You do your postal mechanics, you send it to you. Once you've received it, you've created that contract. Then what you do is you send that off then to all the Sinister Seven, or there might be one or two more if you're in Scotland or Ireland. And I do actually think there's more in the United States and Canada as well, because you've got to do state and national. All right. But we're lucky over in England because we're only little. Okay, so that's how we do them documents. Sorry that you couldn't see it before, but that's basically what it is. So what we're going to do, the next thing that you want to be doing on there, all right, when we're showing you, so you're correcting your status on there, and then the next thing you're going to do is a private trust, okay, and then the land registry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly show you the land registry stuff first, and then I'm going to flip the board back over for the private trust stuff. All right. So on here, on the land registry, I've got the forms here. I'm going to show you them. I can even help them. All right. Help you if you need assistance in filling out these forms. Okay. Not the only, but a big reason to have the trust created is to take your name away from the property. You don't want to own the property, right? This is the thing, and I think probably what tell you what, I'm getting warm. I'm going to take this off. I think what they're doing is they're actually playing, obviously, like dumbing everybody down, but they're also like making everybody in such a way where you've got to own everything. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. Right, it's my home. I want my name on there. If they can't see what you own, then they can't steal it from you. Okay? They can't steal something from you they can't find. So you need to make it so they can't find anything. Okay? So on the land registry, once you've got it, it doesn't matter if it's like a leasehold, or doesn't matter if you've got a mortgage on it, although you will have to ask the lender for permission to change the land registry. But if you've been doing everything correctly, then they'll not mind you like putting you're changing the name. So you need 3 forms. You need the AP1 Alpha Papa 1, right? TR1 Tango Romeo 1, and then ID1 India Delta 1. That's for your ID, to prove your ID. Okay, I'm going to show you the forms now. I've actually got them here. I'm not going to be showing them like sharing them. Okay. All right. Sending the docs. Do you have a video? I've just showed you the video, Angela. The video was on there. All right. So you can go back on and watch the video. Once you've actually clicked on there to get the documents, and the video is the first thing you see before you even download the LND. Okay. All right. So all right, so you've got the ID one. All right, that's the ID one. Okay, now this is literally, you just have to prove who it is that's asking for the changing the land registry, which makes sense really, because you can't just like go and like, oh, I'm going to go and change all these people's land registry, and I'm going to take all the property. So you have to prove, right, the who you are to do the land registry, to change the register, but you do need your name off. All right, you've got to get your name off. So you do an ID1 or an ID3. The ID3 is what they've actually brought in since this Charlie stuff, right? You know what I'm talking about, because they closed all the offices, nobody could go in and get anything done. But on that, what you have to do is you can actually send in a notarized copy of your passport, but the person notarizing it, which can be a policeman, can be like a solicitor or anything like that, they also have to send their passport in. So what a pain in the neck. On this one, you have to take it into a solicitor's office with your passport. They look at the passport, say, yes, that looks like you, sign it, and then you send it off with the other forms. I've done this a couple of times, and I'm busy doing it again now for, well, anyway, for private business. So you have an AP1 there from the land registry. You just download it, and you have the TR1. Again, you just download it, okay? So when you've got the TR1, what you've got to do is you've got to make sure in box number 4 on the TR1, in box number 4, right, has got to match, because on box number 4 in the TR1, you're actually putting down who, all right, is transferring, okay? Who is the transferor? Who's giving it away? So you put down the names that are on, which should be your names, that are on the land registry now. And it has to match up on the AP1 with box 14, I think it is. I mean, I'll show you. 13, 14, yeah. So it's like quite a bigger document, this one. So you're going on to box number 14, right, on there, and that has to match exactly. On box 14 it says who is the transferor, which is the same as box number 5 on the TR1, and then also who is the receiver. So you have to put down trustee of blah blah blah, your private trust, and that's how you do it. Now I've spoke to these many a times, right? I have spoke to yeah, definitely applicable to South Africa, Finley. Definitely. You know, the land registry. And they're nothing but helpful. They've always been brilliant. Every time they spend ages talking to me, you know. Some people have problems, I don't know. But, like, you know, I've just had nothing but good things that I can say about them. Now, listen, I do know that, like, you know, you're talking to people who sometimes don't know what they're talking about or what their job is. I know, right, that people have been told, you have to go and put down all of the trustees' real names and all of the beneficiaries' names, blah, blah, blah. You don't. That is wrong. I've spoke to them at length many times. All you to put down is trustees and the name of the private trust. That's all you put down, right? And that is how they know how to do it. I'm talking about people with experience. Whoever said that before obviously didn't know what they were talking about. In the land registry, probably someone just got the job that day. You don't put the trustees' names down ever. You put trustees. That's it. It's a private trust. Even if you're doing a statutory trust, you don't put the trustees' names down. You don't, right? And then in the beneficiary's name, you definitely don't need to put it down. Now, so that was just somebody made a genuine mistake. They've told whoever it was that asked now a mistake. But I guarantee you, I've seen a lot of slagging off me because of that, right? Not the person who put the post up, wasn't their fault, you know. But you know, like, everybody likes to jump on the negative wagon, don't they? But at the end of the day, you do not have to put the trustees' names down, and you definitely don't have to put the beneficiaries' names down. Now, I'm just talking. I want to show something here, so if I can show that without showing too much of it, right? Which says like private contract onto there. Okay, this is one sheet of paper. Got all blurry because I went in and out. Woo! All right, one sheet of paper. This bought a house. Just one sheet of paper on a private contract between a man and a man. Okay, this is a power of doing private contracts. So when you go onto the website, if you did go onto it and you did join as a member, then you would join a private members association. Right, being in the private is very powerful. That one single bit of paper, I've got two of them actually, because copy for each party, bought a house. Okay, and oh, bit of paper there. And this is one of our trust certificates. Just going to show you with the seal on. You can get those seals with an embosser. You buy the seals. You can get them online. And you can get them online from the same place where you can get the embosser. which is the book embosser, and you're just squeezing it, it makes a seal, makes it very official looking. Now, and that's the way we have to do. So that's the forms to do it and change the land registry. Okay, extremely important. So you're taking your name off. Now, I can't tell you names or anything like that, but I'm dealing with people, I'm dealing with cases there. All right, and somebody was in court and they were like, had their limited companies all set up and everything, protected them, and their income was low, right? So I was like, well, what fines can we put on this person? Because that's what it is, right? And it was like, well, there's my accounts, I haven't got like much income. And then the clerk of the court pipes up saying, yes, but ma'am, because it was a woman judge this time, they own all this property, right? So the clerk of the court had just going like this onto the land registry, found out that their name was on all the titles, okay, right? You've got to remember, it's all about titles on there. So they're attacking the property, okay? So that's why you need to get your name off. We have got to go into the private. What you're in the private means is you don't tell everyone your business. So why should anyone know that's your property, your name on it? All right. So we're going back to the trust. Hang on, let's go and get. All right, there we are on there. All right, so that's where we were. Look, see. So, right, living in the private, knowing yourself, know thyself, a man or a woman. Correct your status with the L&D, the power of attorney, and the security agreement. Then we set up the private trust, which we're going to do now. Then we change the land registry. And lastly, we do the lasting power of attorney. You can do that first if you like, but this is just the way of doing it. This takes quite a while to do now, and it takes longer now than it ever has, because hopefully it's because I'm telling loads of people to go and do it, and they're getting held up doing it, okay? All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over the actual private trust part for you. I'm going to show you how to do it. And there's loads of ways of doing it, and you can do it in any way you like. So let's have a look where I am. This was talking about the mortgage last time, okay? Right, I think this is it. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, a little bit of history there, but it's about the name common law and what it really means, because we're actually going to be using what is called a common law trust, but it's not what you think, okay? Well, actually, not that I'm saying I know what you think, but it's not what a lot of people think. All right, so what we're doing, it's a common law expressed private trust. And we are going to set our trust up in equity. We're going to use the wording. This is in equity, expressed in equity. Okay, it's very, very important. So where does the term come from? Common law. The term was first coined by Henry II in 1154. All right, he actually set up, he traveled around the country, going back to these are still Normans. These are still French. They speak French, these people. They spoke French for hundreds of years, right? All of the since what's his name come over and kicked our ass, right? Took over the country, took over the crown. William and everyone after him, they're all speaking French. They didn't speak English. We didn't even speak English because we were speaking Saxon, right? Mix up. So he traveled around the country with his court, his common law court, okay? Right, so that people could petition the king with their problems. Now, remember, it's not people like me and you, right? It's the landed gentry, okay? But then it's getting really busy, isn't it? So, and he's getting a bit peed off. So what he's done is he commissioned what we call the chancellor, all right? So the chancellor would now hear the cases so that he could run off and go hunting and chasing women and all them types of things that the kings used to do. So now the chancellor or the Lord Chancellor was hearing the cases, okay, which became the Chancery Court, and it's still there today, led by the Lord Chancellor, and it's all done in equity. So in equity, what we're looking for in equity is fairness and justice with conscience. Our conscience, our feeling good or feeling bad, our conscience, right? So we do have to make sure that we separate common law and equity. Now, what I want to do is to explain on common law, because when they talk about common law in a court of law, right? What they mean by common law, it's not how you think, you know, oh, it's do no harm, be under, because that's not even common law. That's natural law. That is the creator's law. Common law is the case law that set precedents by high court judges, by the top judges, the Lord Justices, right? Either in Chancery Court or in the Appeal Court, right? The High Courts, right? That's they create common law by their case law, and everyone has to follow that precedence. That's what it means. So if you say common law in one of their courts, make sure you understand what it means, or comprehend, or both understand and comprehend, because you'll end up in a world of trouble if you've not known what you're talking about. But we don't want to be under common law. We express it in common law so that we can be in equity. All right? We need to be judged with fairness and conscience. All right? So we got common law and equity. It stayed the same, right, when they were setting that up. Okay, and it didn't get separated. The courts didn't get separated until 1873, right? They were separated until 1873. Okay, and then they got joined together, right, by the Judicature. I can't say that word. Judicature Act. Wow. Okay, in 1873, and that's when they joined it together. Now, the reason why they were joining it together is because it was about like whereas you would get what do you call it? You would do compensation. You can only get compensation in common law court, in the common law court. But you didn't always want compensation. Sometimes you wanted remedy, and the remedy would be done in equity. But now they've joined it together, and you can get both in both courts. So we still have the Chancery Court. You've probably all heard about that. But all high courts, they can deal in equity, okay, and common law. So it is the acts and statutes or the case law that's setting precedents, but they'll do it in equity. In other words, they have to do it with their conscience. Okay, all right. So where they clash, right? Common law, where they clash, equity reigns supreme. Now that is held in case law by the Earl of Oxford, 1615. Right, so you can look at that case law 21 ER 485. That is what you would research, and that will bring you up the Earl of Oxford, which shows you equity trumps everything. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to know when you're setting up your private trust, and setting up your private trust in equity. Okay, so in the Earl of Oxford's case, right, the Attorney General, Sir Francis Bacon, hopefully you've ever heard of him, Sir Francis Bacon. Right, he said, in the event of any conflict between the common law and the law of equity, equity would prevail. Okay, we are always going to be looking for equity. Equity trumps everything. All right, so equity, what is it? Equity will not suffer a wrong without a remedy. I mentioned that before, didn't I, about the remedy? This, excuse me, this is of particular import in the trust law, where without equity, beneficiaries may lose the benefit assigned to them, because you're assigning or giving the benefit to somebody else. Okay, all right. So that is how like the equity works into there. Okay. So what you got to do when you're creating your trust and when you're looking for the trust, he who seeks equity must do equity. What we mean by that, anyone coming to equity must come with clean hands. You can't be trying to rob someone and then ask for equity. It will not work. You have to be cleaner than clean to go for equity, okay? So when we're actually creating when you should be creating your private trust, we stipulate in the private trust, right, that it is under equity jurisdiction. Jurisdiction, that's the authority. So it's not going to be under statute. It's not going to be under common law. It is under equity, and it beats everything, okay? All right. So the three certainties that you have to have. Now, this is hilarious. When you're dealing with people, I'm dealing with some clowns in costumes, and I was showing them the Express Trust, and went, this is just a piece of paper. This means nothing. Absolute buffoons. Okay? There's three certainties, right, that need to be present in a trust law to create an Express Trust. The first one, you need to have certainty of intention.
certainty of intention. What that means is, all right, is that the settler wants to create a trust. Okay, right. So the settler wants to create a trust. They have to show that the facts that they do want to create a trust. Okay. Number 2, certainty of subject matter. Right. That is the property or the res. You'll hear it get talked about in res when they're doing that. Okay. And the next one is certainty of objects, which sounds a bit weird, but the certainty of objects means the beneficiaries. So you have to lay it out. Who is the beneficiary? Right? What are they going to get? That's what that actually means. Okay. All right. Give me a look. Move this around. There we are. Good, good, good. All right. So then, this is our triangle. This is our trust triangle, we'll call it for there. Okay. So we have the settler, right? Let's just call the top one up there. There's the settler. He's up there, right? We'll have the trustee down here, okay? And then we also have the beneficiaries down there. So the settler, sometimes you'll hear it called a grantor, but that's more for the Americans, for the USA, all right? But more in European, you hear it as the settler. Now, the thing is, we're living in a common law country, so we actually can, use the common law trust. Not everyone has common law. You know, a lot of these European countries are still living under Roman civil law. So you've got to be careful how you can still be trusts, right? But you have to do different types of trusts. You can also hear the word, sometimes you'll hear it called a testator. But that isn't for a trust. That is for an estate. So you're actually dealing in a testator. That means the dead. What we're dealing in is what we call an inter vivos. Inter vivos means for the living. Right, so it's a living trust. That's what we are creating, a living trust. So there's many different ways of setting these up. Now, what we actually do is, when we're doing it, you're the settler, you're the creator of your own trust. So this would be you here. All right, that's your name. Okay, so that would be Fred. It's always Fred, isn't it? But it's the living man. So it's like it's Fred, not capital Fred. Fred capital is the trustee. We're going to have a board of trustees. We're going to have a professional board of trustees very soon. We've been talking about it for a few months. All right. So what it is, though, this is the benefit of being a beneficiary. So you can be the settler, all right, and also the beneficiary. And then underneath the beneficiary, you have the default beneficiaries who the trust is going to get passed on to when you're not there anymore. Okay. So this is how it works. Let's just say we have the board of trustees written up. So you are the settler, right? We have the board of trustees. So you pass on the trust to the board of trustees. The trust now own that property. They are the legal title owners. So you cannot be sued for it. You cannot lose it. Does that make sense? All right. This is why we do this. This is protection. But you also, not only are you the settler, but you put yourself in here as well. You will be the fiduciary or the fiduciary manager. So everything and all of the indentures, which is the rules and regulations, the law, according to you, the settler, you write out the indentures. You can have a look at them and you can create your own and put your own laws, rules, regulations in. You tell them to do everything. They can't do anything themselves without your say. All right. The R stands for res. That's res or property. Okay. So the settler is also the fiduciary manager that tells them everything that they have to do. So they can't go and sell your property without you knowing about it. You can't collapse the trust without you knowing about it. It all has to come from you being the fiduciary manager. And they get told in the laws, in the rules and regulations that that's how it happens. You see? So everything is protected inside and outside of the trust. The beneficiaries would be you, the living. You, the living. The lowercase living man, living woman, right? The settler and the beneficiaries can be the same. The trustees will be the board of trustees, or it'll be your legal fiction. But we're going to have a professional board of trustees created. Been talking about it for a while now, okay? Right, but listen, see, this is the funny thing as well. When you're showing like the clowns in costumes, the trust document, but it was only a photocopy because I'm not going to give anybody my real trust document. And he said, oh, it's just a bit of paper, right? He said, like, for a trust to exist, no party needs to know that it exists. Now, all mortgages are trusts, all loans are trust. Our whole existence is all a trust, but we didn't know it's a trust. You live in a trust now, right? You're actually under the set of KV trust. The reason why that your car doesn't really belong to you, you're just the actual keeper, is because it's held in a trust. Everything is about trusts, okay? But what we're doing an expressed private trust. So because we're doing an express private trust, we have to do a declaration of trust. We have to express it, you see? All right? So you have to express it. All right? So yeah, there is a Telegram group. So like message Dimebor and then he'll sort you out for that one. Brilliant. Okay, now because we're doing an express trust, we have to prove that it was created. This is why, right, when I've been doing it, we do the postal mechanics. Let's have a look, see what else we've got there. I think that is about it on there. Okay, so that what we do on to express the trust, right? We have the trust deed, we have the memorandum as well, which is the creation of the memorandum, and we use the memorandum for everything. That, you know, if you add more property in, if you want to take property out, which you never should, right? But if you change your trustee, if you change your beneficiary, you do the memorandum. It's a memo. It's like, you know, everybody knows how to do that. You've all heard that language before. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do what's a special notice of interest to anybody that needs to know that there's a trust. And we do it via a public notice, which is illegal, and it has to be legal because it's their will, not ours, not the lawful, but we're doing it in a lawful way for the legal. So we do a public notice, which you can do in any local newspaper. Doesn't matter. You can do it in any newspaper what you want. We use somebody called jpimedia.co.uk, who do have a lot of newspapers all around the country. Not every single area, right? But they cover most areas. And it's different. It must be different from every area. It must be how many papers get sent out, you know, the local papers. Because mine was only about 80 quid, but someone else's was nearly 200. But I think it's because it was a massive area compared to where I live. You know, there's only about 10 people live here. So what? But when we're actually doing it, you know, we don't give them any private information. All we're doing is we're actually, I think mine says, you know, today, the date, a private trust was created, and like, you know, you can or can't put the private trust number in. It's just totally up to you. And if anybody wants any information on that, then you can, and I've created an email for it. You know, say for me, peterprivatetrust@gmail.com or something like that. That's all you're putting in. You're not telling them anything that's like in the trust. You're not telling them beneficiaries. You're not telling them trustees. But that is a declaration. Okay? So because that's that declaration there, then that, right, which you're saying, right, we're doing an express. So we're doing the declaration. That, right, is proving that this trust was created. And then we have our trust documents, right, and our certificates. So we have the certificates made up there. That's this is a units of beneficial interest. So you have 500 units of beneficial interest. Now I know I'm getting complicated here, but you know, like I'm going to be very, very shortly releasing a trust course, and it'll only be about the trusts themselves, on creating the trust and you know how to do it all, so how to actually work out what's a unit of beneficial interest. And we also have a certificate of trustee certificate as well, you know, so all the trustees are actually like, you know, certified within the trust, and you keep the paperwork. I've actually got on my trust, when I'm doing them for people, it's like a little mini suitcase, not suitcase, what do you call it, briefcase, like little mini, and it's like open up the file, it's got filing and it's got sections in where you keep everything, and it's really professional, really good, and everything's done in the colors. So if you can look at this, you will see, right, that it's, can you see? It's like, it looks very white there, but it's actually blue, okay, eggshell blue. And the writing, the text is blue. That is all for contracts and finance. And that's what we're dealing in. Trusts are dealing in contracts and finance.
Okay, so, and it's all available. So I will be doing the course just for that, for people that want to do it. Obviously, it's completely voluntary, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to. And then at the end of that course, you'll be able to actually create your own trust. We do have them obviously available in there for in the members area, which is I'm doing the videos for that as well now. There's a couple of more videos in there that explain a lot about the private trust and how to create it. Oh, I don't know yet about like the what the course will be, you know. But it'll not just be a course; it'll actually be a course running there right up to the point of like this. So now you've done it. So at the end of the course, you create your trust. So that'll be like that'll be how the whole thing works. Okay. So you learn right the way through the paperwork, right the way through the history, all about like how it actually works. And then this is how you create it. So it literally will be step by step, right the way through, you know, so you've actually got it done. Okay. And you know, it's been an absolute like whirlwind time. Do you know what I mean? It's like June already, you know. Time is speeding up. We're flying towards like the end game, like God knows what, you know. So turn that down a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's like so I haven't had the time to do everything that I had wanted to do, but I am getting there, and it's getting more and more and more. Now, if you haven't, like you see, if you're coming onto the live streams or whatever it is, and you haven't actually went in, what do you call it when you go on the YouTube thing? Oh, you subscribe. So subscribe on there, but also go onto the website, right? That's www.claimyourstrawman.com. And all you got to do is like opt in. Once you've opted in, it's all free. And then all the documents are there for doing the lawful notice and demand, the security agreement, and the power of attorney to go and correct your status. It's all there for free. There's even a video shows you how to do it all. It's all there, right? And then you're on the mailing list. So then what happens is we're going to put out like the mailing list. You'll get an email saying, look, the trust course is ready now. So you can do it if you want to. All right. So just do that. So you can not only get like access to all of, and this is all free, by the way, all of this access and all of them documents are showed you. You know, you don't have to join any membership unless you want to. You can get tons and tons of stuff without that. Obviously, there's gazillions more in the membership, and we do like a lot more live training, one-on-one training, heavy training, really good training. I just showed you who could be the trustee, right? You can do it either through the board of trustees, or you can use your legal fiction as a trustee. Or, you know, if you had somebody that, you know, in the family member that you truly trusted, you could do that. Okay. And that's it. So no, I don't have any donation buttons. I used to ages ago, but I stopped doing it. It was getting too complicated. I couldn't be bothered, you know. No, brilliant. Glad you done it. Got it downloaded on there. Okay. So but you know what you can do though, Angela, if you want to donate, you can like go and have a look at the course. Do that when I get it out, you know, and it will hopefully not be too long now. So I'm trying to push ahead. We should do it this weekend, shouldn't I? Because I've got loads of time off because they're having a big party for some reason. I have no idea why. It was I went to pick Janine up. She was doing it on Wednesday night, right? This is crazy. Wednesday night, I went to pick her up from she was I'm not really sure, doing like spiritual thing. And unfortunately, there's a pub right outside it. So what I did is I went in the pub to like have a quick cheeky pint, let's say, while I was waiting to pick her up, you know. And it was packed. This is a Wednesday night, and I've been in a couple of times, you know, when I've went to pick her up on a Wednesday night, you know, from this spiritual thing. And it's like, you know, there's a man there, there's a man and woman there, you know, and that's it. It's like, you know, and there was people everywhere. They were all wearing shorts because it was a nice day, and they were all drunk, and like, honestly, it was terrible. And I said to the barmaid, I go, what is going on? Why is everyone here? She went, looking at me like I'm nuts, right? There's people drunk falling over the pool tables and everything. She's looking at me like I'm stupid asking a question. Why is everyone here? What are they doing? She went, well, it's, you know, it's a bank holiday for like, you know, the Queen's Jubilee. Oh my days. So anyway, so they're all drunk on this, and you know, they're not celebrating the bloody Queen, are they? on a Wednesday night because the Thursday was a bank holiday. So they've had a bank holiday Thursday, they've a bank holiday today, right? Obviously Saturday is Saturday, Sunday is Sunday, and then they're having a bank holiday on Monday as well. I didn't realize everybody was such a big Lizard fan, but there you go. You know, you learn something new every day. So I've got plenty of time off. I can actually go and get some more videos done for the trust course. Yeah, I mean, that's they're getting everybody. All they're doing is dumbing everybody down with all that alcohol, isn't it? Which is like birth jubilee. Is that the birthday thing? Is it the official birthday? I haven't really got a clue. You know, I don't watch television. I don't read newspapers. I don't really follow much things that are going on apart from doing what do you call it? YouTube video. Like when I'm studying YouTube videos or like going on my books and studying the books, reading the books about the law, about like trusts. I have an exciting life. Okay. It's not bank holiday. On the move. Right. Okay. Right. Got you. All right. Well, there you go. But they'll all still be doing that, won't they? Going and crazy. But I tell you what. Excuse me. I'm just gonna. If anyone's got any questions, stick them up now. I'm reading a couple. I should have. Oh, I've got my glasses. Yay, glasses. Let's see what anyone's saying. Oh, I have no idea. I've got loads of people in Australia. There's just somebody saying they're in Australia and can't get the website. I've got loads of members in Australia, members of the site, as well as just people on there. So I'll tell you what to do. Email me, and this is for just G. Gravenel. Email me, peter@claimingstrawman.com. peter@claimingstrawman.com. And I'll send you the... if you really can't get that link, I'll send you the documents over in an attachment, okay? Oh, you're more than welcome, Hammy. More than welcome. Queen died in 2018. Yeah, well, everything's fake anyway. It's all nuts, isn't it? Even the double's getting on. Yeah. Try a VPN, Dimebar says, right, for like try to get that. But I've got loads of other people in Australia have been totally fine getting all of the websites. I love your English accent. I haven't got an English accent. I've got a Geordie accent. Yes, they are. Liz Ardbeth. Yeah, I like that one, Liz Ardbeth. That's a good one. Hiya, Bob. How are you doing? Yeah, exactly, Bob. So they do. He's asking if they have to sign the witnesses sign. So in reality, right, because they're actually signing as their own entity, it doesn't really matter. But as long as they put their name on, right. So say if it was me, I would just put Peter Wilson in capitals and then sign underneath. They can sign it in lowercase. If I'm ever doing anything, I'll always autograph it lowercase, P-E-T-E-R, lowercase. That's all I'll do. But it doesn't matter that they do it or don't do it, as long as you've actually got it done by two people. It's got to be two witnesses, and then it'll stand up for anybody. Okay. For whom the bell's toll. Yeah, they're all dead. Yeah, well, you like the presentation? It only says Facebook user, by the way. So you know, I don't know your name if you haven't, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. A little bit more tonight. Positive thoughts. Yeah, good. Excellent. Lovely. Thank you, Ian. Glad you enjoyed it. It's official birthday, the 11th of June. Oh, okay. Oh. But our birthday's in April or something, apparently. But I don't know when lizards have birthdays. Yeah, try a VPN. I'm on Brave as well. I try doing that. Yeah, lasting power of attorney. Yeah, good that. Yeah, go on. If you want to get onto the Telegram group, go and talk to Dimebar. Dimebar will get you onto the Telegram group for you. Excuse me. Oh, well, it's recorded anyway, Bev, right? It's all recorded. You'll get to see it. It'll come back up on YouTube, and I think you can still even see it on Facebook, but definitely on YouTube. Again, 15 lottie. I don't know why you can't get on. It's like you've got loads, especially in England. And if you've clicked on it, it takes you through, and all you got to do is click the blue button. But again, email me, peter@claimyourstrawman.com, and I'll make sure that you actually get the documents emailed to you as well anyway, okay? Can I just change the L&D from 40 days to 30 days? If you like, do you like, Paul? Yeah, do you like? The only reason why we're doing the 40 days and 40 nights is because it's biblical. It's all about like the Bible, you see. But, you know, you can change it and do it for lower if you want. It's not a problem. If that's what you want to do. Yeah, you've got to keep learning all the time, Les, all the time. Yeah, we do think the lizard lady is history, George. All right. Okay, so look what John is saying there. John Williams, does moving a house into private trust imply that there has to be a sale, money changing hands, and or stamp duty? Absolutely not. It's got it written on here on the forms as well. Australia have just changed the rules, by the way. So if you're in Australia, be very careful because they're just scumbags. Like, change the rules to actually make more money for you on the stamp duty. It's either on the TR1 or on the AP1, and it's just transfer. You're not. There's, and it actually states there's no financial gain in here, and it states on the forms. Okay, so in reality, because of other people changed it, like what do you call it? The Australian government changed theirs. So get yours put in trust and get them documents done. L&D means lawful notice and demand, Lynn. Okay, so you don't pay stamp duty when you put your property into a trust. At least you know, apart from if you live in Australia, I think they're trying to like screw you even harder. Lizards, yeah, exactly. When did she get out of that egg then, Bob? That's what her. We can't call it a birthday, can we? We'll call it a hatch day. All right. Yeah, I honestly don't know. I'll have to have another look. I mean, I always get it on different browsers. Comes up totally fine. Okay. Oh, thank you very much, Inga. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But like, you know, if anyone can't get like onto there for whatever reason, then, you know, let me just email me, peter@claimyourstrawman.com, and we'll try and send you a direct link, or definitely send the documents anyway. Okay. No, you don't need to do anything else. Yeah, it's totally fine. Right, we're only talking about. To be honest, you're never going to like be in a court situation with a security agreement, so it would never matter. We're only doing it because when we've been in court a few different times, it's like they come up with ridiculous comments and stuff like that about the thumbprint being red. Oh, is it blood? It's a hazard. And like, you know, oh, well, who's going to be the witness we're going to bring into the court if it's saying it's God? You know, just trying to be pains, okay? But no, it's fine. Don't worry about it, honestly. But there isn't any money there is no money being transferred in the house anyway. All you're doing is you're actually transferring the house into a trust, so there's no money at all. I mean, if you mean Australia, then you can gift it. Everything you actually put into a private trust is gifted into the trust. That's what it actually means. So anything that you put into the trust is gifted into the trust anyway. And there's no transfer, there's no financial gain or assets or anything like that. So, you know, there's nothing to worry about. But I do know that in Australia, they're trying to screw you. Basically, that's all I can say. So they're wanting to make you pay double stamp duty. Like, how good are the Australian government? They've been very fair the last 2 years, haven't they? Okay. All right, Sam, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. Glad you enjoyed it. An Earth Day. Yes, she crawled out on the earth out of her egg, D. Okay, so hi, Peter. Do you have a video with regards to claiming back finances for paid mortgages, as a mortgage shouldn't have been signed, right? Okay, well, the we're trying to get more and more documentation together to challenge mortgages. I haven't got a video on that yet. We're actually going through for a couple of people trying to help them. One of them has just pulled out. They got too scared. but we're trying to get like a challenge video done where you're actually challenging. Like Michael Obanisia has got one out, but also as well, I shared it. Some people have talked about it on here tonight. The banker's manual. So if anyone's got the link, put the link up for the banker's manual there for whoever that was, for Angela. You know, but yeah, we understand about the mortgages being fraudulent, but we're busy working on that right now. Is it possible to remove your home from the land registry? Listen, it's the same thing where you can challenge the land registry and you can, like, you know, put it into the private and say, but it stays on their books. Doesn't matter what you do, what you say. The same with the car, the same with the home. It stays on your book. Their books. Okay. The best thing we can do is put it into a private trust. Do you have to be classed as alive for promissory notes? I think that's what that means for promissory notes. No, you don't actually. You can do that. Oh yeah, as well. Yeah, just like Barbara's reminded me. Now in September, late September, I am looking at going down to Plymouth to do like an event down in Plymouth, a live event. So if anybody would be interested in going to see that, then let me know. Okay, so that Barbara's going to organize it. So if anybody would be interested in going to see an event, live event in Plymouth, then let me know, because Barbara wants to do an event down there so I can get back down to the Royal Navy days and be running around Plymouth. Although I think it's all finished now, actually. I don't even think they're getting ships down there anymore, hardly at all, do they? But no, you can try and remove your home from the land registry, but the land registry or even the DVLA for the cars, they'll leave it on there no matter what you do. I know you can export your car, but I don't think you can export your house brick by brick across on the ferry. Okay, so let me know if anybody would be interested at all, even like, you know, later on, like, you know, after the live, like put messages in there, let them know if you be interested in going to an event in Plymouth. All right. But you don't have to be classed as alive, a man or a woman to do a promissory divorce, JP. You're more than welcome, Nick. Yeah, glad you enjoyed it. Properties and trusts would affect landlords. What do you mean, landlords? You can't put your property in a trust. You can put your interest in a property in a trust, right? But obviously, you have to be on the land registry to be putting your property in a trust. Okay. You're more than welcome, Angela. Good. Can I claim back council tax? Can who claim back council tax? You know, you're doing like the direct debit indemnities. Make sure you're in the private before you do anything like that. Okay. YouTube deletes the links. Okay. Right. Oh, so when you actually delete it when this has been shared, you mean? I'm not sure. Okay. But you can claim council tax back if, you know, doing these direct debit indemnities, you know, but like make sure you know what you're doing and you're ready to deal with it. Or you still get a few Navy ships down there, do you? Oh, well, there you go. Good. If you're the landlord, then what you do is you still put your property in the trust. It makes no difference. So you're still going to be the owner, right, of the legal title, you see. Yeah, Plymouth. Yeah, come on. We'll get down there to Plymouth. Yeah, Manchester, event 23rd of July. I will be there. So if anyone's interested in going to July, I'm actually in Stafford this month. I think it's the 18th of June. So I'm in Stafford on the 18th of June. Manchester on the 23rd of July. I'm not going to do anything in August. School holidays and all that stuff, you know, so I don't want to put anybody under pressure. But you know, if anybody fancies going to Plymouth, then yeah, let me know, because Barbara wants to organize an event there. There's somebody, Barbara, look. There's somebody saying they definitely want to go. All right. Woo. It jumped up there. Great show. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Noel. Very glad you enjoyed it. I am only wanting to please people. Yeah. So like in Devon. No, hang on, wasn't it Devon? It is Devon, wasn't it? Wembury, is that Devon, Barbara? You know where the gunnery school. That's where I went to gunnery school. So we used to fire out all the huge big guns, like over the sea. Yeah, Dimebar. If you message Dimebar, and he'll sort out all of the Telegram group people on there. He'll help you. Okay. Oh, where's that? I heard it. You know, like Shabby, I wouldn't do that either. You know, I'm not really into that at all. Dimebar said it exactly. You know, there's loads of people sending off loads of money to get loads of stuff done, and nothing ever happens. You know, somebody tried to actually travel on an airplane using one of their famous passports. They wouldn't let them anywhere near the place. You know, 18th of June, thank you very much. Yeah, 18th of June in Stafford, 23rd of July in, what do you call it, Manchester, and then hopefully it'll be down in Plymouth in the end of September. I may just go anyway, Barbara, just come down and see you anyway. And then if people turn up, great. If not, it doesn't matter. I'll pop down and see you anyway. HMS Cambridge, HMS Cambridge. Yeah, that's what it was. HMS Cambridge. It used to be a holiday home before it was a naval base. One of the lads got his fingers all cut off when he was in the big gun turrets. Loaded too quickly, and the reject come and cut all his fingers off. QSIP number, that is your bond number for when you get your birth certificate. I'll go down to London if anybody can organise something. Actually, there's somebody asking me to go down London later on. It's not actually London, but just outside London. Okay. Yeah, I'll go down. You know, obviously we need people to help to organise them, and I'll definitely turn up and do it all. Oh, how does one get to go for Stafford? Jez, do you know how to get a ticket to go to Stafford? I think you might just be able to turn up on the door. Jez has got the if you go on the Facebook group, I'm sure Jez has actually got the address and everything like that. I know this sounds terribly disorganized, but you know, I just go where people want me. You know, I don't actually organize them. Yeah, just turn up at the door. They say, there you go, George. Just turn up at the door and you can get in, and you pay at the door as well. So, see, these are people that are organizing events. I'm just the entertainment. I just pop in, do a little bit of comedy, and then off I go. Okay. All right. Yeah, HMS Cambridge, Barbara. But like I say, I think I might just come down anyway. I'll get down a little bit. Nice weather down there as well, isn't it? You know, I like it down there. I love Plymouth, love Devon, love Cornwall. Down when I was in HMS Raleigh in Cornwall as well. All right, okay. So nice people running it. All right. Cool, brilliant. Okay, then. So I think we're all done and dusted. Hopefully they enjoyed it. Hopefully we went over some good stuff for you, showing you what we need to be doing, how we need to actually get ourselves into the private, get the private trust sorted, you know, and look after yourselves and protect yourselves, because that's what it's all about. Because I tell you, and I'm not trying to be miserable or anything like that. There's George is asking where the venue is. Where's the venue, Jez, for Stafford? Yeah. No, you're more than welcome. You are more than welcome. But just like I say, you know, you've got to. This is what we need to do to protect ourselves. It's you know, we have to make sure that you know, we putting things in trust, protecting ourselves. You can put your body in trust. You can put your DNA in the trust. What I mean by the DNA is, like, they can't alter it, can they? Because if it's in trust, it's the property is owned by the trust, so nobody can do anything to it unless it's signed for by all of the trustees. Okay. medical protection details. Well, that's what I've just said, really. So you can put your DNA into it. You can put your fingerprints and your eye scan in a private trust. So they can't, if you ended up getting arrested, they say, well, I want your fingerprints. Well, you can't have them because they don't belong to me. They belong to the private trust. And you'll have to get permission from all the trustees before you have them. Simple as. All right. So then if you've got like your DNA, they say, well, we want a DNA sample. So, well, you can't have a DNA sample because it's not owned by me. It's owned by a private trust, and you cannot have it unless you have permission from all of the trustees. And then if they try to alter your DNA, you can't alter my DNA because that DNA is owned in the trust. It's not mine to give to you or let you alter or stick something in to give it their change, right? This is powerful, powerful stuff, Cool, good. I'm glad. Moo-moo-ha. I'm glad your questions are answered. Good. Good. All right. So I think that'll be it. Yeah, you're in a trust. Your children. If you have children, you put your children in a trust. It's property. Your property. Proper to I. Right. So you can put your children in a trust. You can put your whole family in a trust. This is how, and people keep saying to me, like, so what's the point? I've only got like, 2-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom flat, it's not worth anything. It's got a mortgage on it. There's only 50 grand equity in it. I don't listen. These people all these years ago that were putting their stuff into private trusts, were putting their stuff into private trusts for their generations to go. We are looking to create generational wealth. I've started on the crypto. I'm absolutely dumbfounded by it. All right. But I mean, I'm invested in silver. I'm invested in gold. I'm invested in crypto. This is how I see the future. Now, I tell you what it is. We're in a war. We're in a spiritual war. We are in a good versus evil war. Now, I know that good is going to win. It's already written down in the Bible. We've read it. Good wins. But there's going to be a lot of casualties that's coming along through this war. Right? Now, we want to be looking at how to create generational wealth for us and in too right. My dogs are in the trust by name and by breed and everything. Okay. All right. Definitely I have all my dogs in the trust because the dogs are classed as property anyway. If somebody kills your dog, you can't it's not murder. They just hurt your property. That's a fact. Okay. So, unfortunately, that's the way it is for your pets. But I tell you what, everything's in a trust. But when we're creating this wealth, be it through silver, be it through cryptocurrency, I know nothing about it. I'm literally just trying to actually get onto it, and start to develop it and learn how to do it, because everything is going to go digital. Everything is going to be going digital. All right. Very, very soon. Doesn't matter what you think about cash or anything like that. It's all going to change. We cannot stop what is coming. But what we're going to do, what I can see happening is that when it does change, even the good guys, a lot of people call them the white hats, they are going to push it towards a digital future, okay? A robotic future, but a good one, not the evil one that Klaus and his buddies want, okay? So that's what I truly see. That's what I truly believe. And I know for a fact that the creator is going to be looking after us. And that if we lift up the vibration of ourselves and the vibration of people around us and the vibration of the planet will lift, and then we will get rid of the evil. So that is why we'll have to look towards the future in a positive way. We can't be sitting there thinking, I'm not going to do anything because everything's going to be shit. All right. Yeah. All right. If you want to be like that, then fuck off somewhere else then. Okay. We don't want you. What we want is positivity. We want love. We want happiness and everyone loving each other and looking after each other. That's all we want. And that's all you should be giving out. And that's what you should be getting back. Okay. So what we have to do is we'll have to plan for the future. And you can plan for the future, like I say, with gold, with silver, and with crypto. You don't want to be leaving anything in the bank because I reckon it's going to be shut down very, very soon. All right. So what you want to be doing, right, is like trying to spread it out. You can't put all your eggs in one basket or you will end up getting completely screwed. So you put, all right, so have a little cash in your pocket just in case you can spend it now and again. All right. You can have like a little bit in your bank in case you have to use a direct debit or you're going to use your card. But then you get some in your crypto, and there's tons of it that's going now. And then I'm learning. I was sitting with hours with this guy coming, brilliant, like Chris Cook is his name, and he helped me loads, and I've set up wallets and stuff. I have no idea. right? But and was like doing all these different tokens and coins and stuff that are run by these people that have got the websites and all set up, and it's like you can see that they're doing all these gaming software and everything like that. I mean, it's way over my head, but I'm going to learn how to do it. Now, this guy's 43 and he's retired through crypto, and and he's like paid off his house. He's bought like a swanky car, pulled up in the car. I was like, woo, that's nice. My car, still haven't got mine back, still in the garage, because there's this huge disastrous war somewhere that's stopping all the car parts getting sent over to fix my car. I mean, come on. But anyway, so so you've got to learn these things, right? What you cannot do, right, is like sitting fucking miserable and say, oh God, I'm not going to do anything. It's all going to be shit. It's all going to be bad. We have to be like pushing up with the love, pushing up with loving each other, helping each other, praying for each other, looking towards like the creator. The creator created this. He's not going to let it slide. He's not going to let them win, right? But we have to make sure that we protect ourselves as much from the evil, because I've done this fantastic interview yesterday. I did it. It's recorded. I don't know when I'm going to put it out. It was with this guy. I use this stuff. It's called a clean slate, and it decalcifies your pineal gland, and it gets rid of fluoride, because fluoride messes up your pineal gland mad. All right. So it gets rid of all of the heavy metals, right? You know what they're pumping out the sky. You see it every bloody day. All right. It's all coming down on top of you. It's in the food. It's in the water. It's in your air. It's everywhere. So we need to decalcify and get rid of the toxins out of our body, the heavy metals out of our body, right? So I did this interview with this guy. His wife created it with all her knowledge. You've got to listen to this video. You've got to listen to this interview. I'm going to probably put it up sometime next week. And I'm telling you, it's like called Clean Slate, something like Root something. And they've got tablets, and they've got some powder, which is green powder, which is like this stuff, literally you can get all of your vegetable stuff just by this tiny little scoop, and it cleanses your system. Okay. Now, this guy is amazing, absolutely amazing. And you listen to, and his wife is just, she is so scientifically clever, genius. Okay. But let's take that back. What he said was brilliant. He was saying to me, he said, look, you can compare what we are in to a hostage situation. Okay. All right. So imagine a hostage situation. So you've got these psychopaths that have taken the hostages. Now we're the hostages. We've got these psychopaths that are literally put us in as hostages. But now the hostages, the same as we know, they know the end. They know they're not going to win. They know they're going to die. They know they're going to lose. So what they're going to do, they're not going to turn around and go, oh, shit, sorry, we didn't mean to do that, so we're going to be very nice to you. We're going to let you all go. In a real hostage situation, what happens? They start killing them, don't they? They start killing the hostages. They probably kill all of them sometimes, right? Because they know they're going to die themselves. So what's happening now, if you look at it, why is it getting so crazy? Why is it getting so bad? It's getting so crazy, it's getting so bad because what they're doing is these hostages that have got us hostage are starting to kill a few people. I mean, there's lots of people died, right? There's ambulances flying backwards and forwards all the bloody time up here, and we live in a tiny little village, all right? So, right, this is what's happening. They know they're going to lose, so what they're doing is they're actually trying to kill as many of us as possible, okay, before they get kicked out. And that's a fact. So because we know we're going to win, because we know that the creator will love us and will protect us from everything, right? No matter what, even if they did get to kill me, I don't care, because I know that I'm just energy, and that I will get rid of the meat suit, and that the energy will go on and will do something else, right? It really does not bother me. I'm not bothered or not worry about death and whatsoever, apart from I don't want to leave Janine on her own with the dogs. Do you know what I mean? Because I just want to look after them. But I'm not bothered about me in the least. I don't care. I'm not worried about anything like that. But because I know that it's going to be going on, because I know that it's going to be like an amazing future in the future, and for our like next generations and the next generations, and like when we're going on and we're passing on our love to then generations going down and our great grandchildren. Okay. All right. So that is why we need to be looking towards generational wealth in the future. So you start investing in gold, start investing in silver, start investing in crypto. Crypto is never going away. I'm not talking about Bitcoin or a specific coin, right? This is going to get bigger than bigger, right? You know, so that, there's plans on crashing this and crashing that. I know there is, right? But the actual crypto itself is never going to go away. The digital side, the robotic side, it's all just going to happen anyway. And it's going to happen on the good side because the evil will get beat, right? God will beat, or the creator will beat them. We will beat them, right? When we lift up our vibration and we love each other and we love everyone and we try and help each other and pass that our like, you know, love onto each other, that's how we're going to beat them. Can lift up the vibration of the planet. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to actually get people to become aware. I'm trying to get more and more people to become aware. I don't want them to be awake, because that's what dead people do. They go to wakes. Well, they do, but in a box, right? But everyone else goes to the wake. I want you to be aware. And then when you're aware, start telling everyone else. All right? Spread the word, okay? All right? So the... all right. So what? Yeah. It's, what's that? It's shabby. Never. Yeah, it's really good. It's called Clean Slate. It is brilliant. Okay, but this video, I've already done it. I just need to edit it. He got a phone call in the middle from his wife that he had to stop and talk to her. She's a seriously qualified scientist. She even worked for these people like Pfizer and all of them. All right, so like, you know, and she could see the evil coming along. Incredibly clear. I didn't speak to her. I just spoke to Clayton is his name. Absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to put it out. And I'm just saying to Jeanine, you've got to watch this video. Don't worry about, you don't want to watch me, right? Listen to his information. It's fantastic. All right. So it'll be coming out very soon. All right. Let's have a quick, excuse me very much. All right. Yeah, well, you would definitely want to get out of banks anyway. So the more that you get into these private, we're all about private trust, getting into private, using your L&D. So that's why we need to get into the cryptocurrency that can be private. Now, I'm not a genius or anything at all. I don't know it. I'm just learning. This guy who was very clever, he's going to help me a lot. And he lives next to me. He's good, see? So he can literally pop around and he can sit down and chat with me. So that's really good. So, but everybody needs to start trying to learn something. Go on to Race TV. He's brilliant. He can help you with cryptocurrency and stuff. Look for his videos on cryptocurrency. He's big into it, okay? But I'm going to shoot off now, people. Thank you very much for coming to the show. Much love to everybody. All right, remember, just spread it around, spread the knowledge around, speak to everyone, make more people aware, lift up the vibration, lift up the love, okay? I'm just joking. I'm saying she doesn't want to watch a video of me. I'm just joking. All right, no problem. Okay, so love. All right, hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you all next time. And you know, make sure you watch out for that video coming about this. Race TV. Yeah, good on. That's it. What do you call it? Race TV up on there, Dime Bar. Tell everyone. That's what you got to watch. Race TV. I'm on there as well. Boom. All right. Private coins. That's it. How many private coins? Yeah. I don't really know that much about it. I'm just learning, but I'm going to make sure I learn. And that's why I want you to be learning. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much for everybody. Lots of love to everyone. Take care. Look after each other. Look after yourselves. Tell everybody. Spread the word. Make more and more people aware. Let's get the go in there. Get all of this knowledge out there, okay? All right. See you all boom later. Have a good time. Have a good Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Right? No lizard celebrations.